The only reason I'm bringing this up is because how a small little story elevated into this crazy story that we got here today. So, Caitlin Clark is playing a game. And there's this issue with her and Angel Reese. There's this, Caitlin Clark pushes one of the teammates of Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry, Angel Reese pushes one of the teammates of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark fouls Angel Reese. Angel Reese does one of these LeBron flops and falls on the ground. I mean, she learned it from LeBron. Falls to the ground. And the next thing you know, DeMarcus like, oh my God, she's protected. Oh, it's all because she's white and all this other stuff. And then Angel Reese comes out and she's saying all these things. And then Jameel Hill comes out. Rob, I don't know if you have this clip or not. Jameel Hill comes out and says Angel Reese at the end of her career is going to end up being, calls Angel Reese end of career will be known as.
The WNBA should be experiencing its greatest era, yet riding an unprecedented wave of momentum. Powered by Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation talent who has not only shattered records but has also redefined the visibility of women's basketball. From sold-out arenas to skyrocketing viewership, Clark has brought millions of new fans into the fold, energizing a sport that has long battled for mainstream attention. But instead of capitalizing on this golden opportunity, the league is unraveling, undermining its own growth in a storm of jealousy, division, and increasingly outright hostility. Rather than rallying around its brightest star and embracing the potential she brings, certain factions within the WNBA appear more intent on tearing her down. The result? A league on the verge of implosion, sabotaging itself at the very moment it could ascend. And now, the latest controversy has exploded like a powder keg. In a moment that's been captured on video and is now detonating across social media, Brittney Griner is seen allegedly directing a vile, racially charged slur toward Caitlin Clark, calling her a trash-effing white girl. In the heat of competition, the footage is jarring, the context undeniable, and the fallout instant. Fans are furious, commentators are stunned, and yet, as of now, the league remains disturbingly silent. No statements, no disciplinary measures, no acknowledgement. It's a silence that speaks volumes, a silence that, too many, signals complicity. This incident isn't just about trash talk or the heat of the moment. It's about the growing perception that the WNBA is failing to protect its most valuable asset. Not only failing to defend Clark, but perhaps even enabling the hostility she continues to face. With every unchecked insult, every overlooked foul, and every unanswered outburst, the league is sending a message that personal agendas may matter more than progress, that politics may matter more than fairness, and that divisiveness may be winning out over unity. The WNBA stands at a crossroads. It can choose to rise to embrace the star power, diversity, and excitement that players like Caitlin Clark bring to the court. Or it can continue down this path of self-inflicted damage. But one thing is certain, the world is watching and the clock is ticking.
Trans person wants me to call them a woman, like, I'm gonna call you a woman. I'm not gonna, like, put my fucking foot down about it.
Andrew, if I told you right now, call me daddy, would you call me daddy?
No.
Why not?
Well, because
call
you're
me
not
daddy,
my dad.
Uncle.
But you're not my dad.
But I want you to.
Enter Patrick Bet-David, the outspoken media firebrand known for pulling no punches. In a blistering takedown that's now making waves across the internet, PBD didn't just criticize Brittney Griner, he pulled back the curtain on what he sees as a deeper, more dangerous hypocrisy festering within the WNBA. His message, brutally clear. Why are league veterans like Griner and Angel Reese seemingly attacking the very player Caitlin Clark, who has brought the WNBA unprecedented visibility, sold-out arenas, and record-breaking ratings? Why is mainstream media rushing to frame this as racial tension instead of addressing what it might actually be, raw, unchecked envy? And perhaps most damning of all, why is the WNBA's leadership so deafeningly silent while its most marketable star is being targeted, isolated, and vilified? This isn't just about one ugly on-court comment or a viral video, it's about a league that appears to be choosing resentment over growth, ego over unity, and silence over leadership. Caitlin Clark should be the face of a new era in women's basketball. Her impact is undeniable. Her fanbase massive, her potential limitless, yet instead of celebrating her contributions, she's being made a lightning rod for controversy. And if the WNBA doesn't course correct, the damage could be permanent. As PBD warns, this kind of internal sabotage doesn't just slow progress, it risks destroying everything the league has worked to build. Watch Patrick Bet-David's full rant below, then join the conversation. Drop your take in the comments, like this post, and subscribe for the bold, honest discussions the mainstream networks won't dare to touch. It was the moment that lit the fuse. A brief unguarded flash captured on camera that would send shockwaves through the entire sports world. During a heated matchup between the Los Angeles Sparks and the Indiana Fever, Brittney Griner, visibly frustrated after fouling out late in the game, appeared to mutter something under her breath as she walked off the court. At first, it seemed like little more than a moment of frustration, a routine flare-up in a high-stakes contest. But then came the slow-motion replays, then came the lip readers. And that's when everything changed. Fans quickly zeroed in on the clip, dissecting every frame, every syllable. What they claimed to hear wasn't just frustration, it was personal. Many believe Griner's muttered words were a venomous slur, aimed squarely at Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom who has taken the league by storm. Within hours, the internet exploded with speculation. Was it a slip of the tongue, born of competitive heat? Or was it something far more intentional, something that crossed the line from trash talk into outright hostility? Debates raged across social media, sports talk shows, and fan forums. Some defended Griner, arguing the audio was inconclusive. Others condemned the moment as further proof of a growing animosity toward Clark, an animosity rooted in jealousy, rivalry, and an unwillingness by some league veterans to embrace the sport's rising star, regardless of which side of the debate you land on. One thing is certain, the WNBA can no longer afford to pretend these moments don't matter. The league stands at a pivotal crossroads, and how it chooses to respond to these controversies may very well shape its future for better or for worse.
Every time we play her, there's this commotion, like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there, watching on purpose. It's very disruptive. It's called a freaking game that they pay you money to.
Patrick Bet-David didn't wait for the league's polished PR spin or the usual round of vague, non-committal statements. He did what few in the media were willing to do. He called the moment exactly what it appeared to be, a racially charged verbal attack aimed at Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's most marketable and impactful star. There was no hesitation in his response, no sugarcoating, no walking on eggshells. In a raw and unfiltered commentary, Bet-David addressed the incident head-on, refusing to downplay the gravity of what was caught on camera. He called out not only the player behind the comment but also the culture of silence and selective outrage that seemed to be protecting it. As the clip spread across social media like wildfire, Bet-David's words ignited a much larger conversation, one that quickly broke through the boundaries of niche sports talk and entered the mainstream consciousness. Suddenly, what began as a muttered remark in the heat of competition had become a national debate about race, resentment, and the fractured dynamics playing out within the WNBA. But more than that, Bet-David's bold stance forced a deeper examination of the league itself, of the simmering tensions that have long existed beneath the surface. Tensions between veterans and rookies, between legacy and new fame, between ideology and pragmatism. It exposed the uncomfortable truth that not everyone in the WNBA seems ready to embrace the success and spotlight that Caitlin Clark has brought to the game. And now, the league is facing a reckoning it can't afford to ignore, because the longer it waits to address the growing divide, the more it risks alienating the very fans, sponsors, and opportunities it needs to survive and thrive.
Jamil Hill, she says by the time she retires, Jamil Hill has made a bold prediction that Angel Reese will become the MJ of the WNBA by the time she retires. That's what she said. Okay. Let me continue.
Okay.
All right.
What began as a heated on-court moment has now cracked open a much deeper rift, one that reveals a growing divide within the WNBA. A league suddenly caught between its storied past and its rapidly evolving future. At the center of that divide stands Caitlin Clark, a rising superstar whose meteoric ascent has brought unprecedented attention, sold-out arenas, and a surge of new fans to women's basketball. Her name trends with every game, her jersey flies off shelves. She has become, almost overnight, not only the face of a franchise but the face of the league itself. But while many fans, media outlets, and sponsors have embraced this shift with open arms, not everyone inside the league seems ready or willing to celebrate her success. Instead of unity, we're seeing signs of resentment. Instead of mentorship, we're watching friction unfold in real time between Clark and some of the league's veteran players. And in a moment that went viral for all the wrong reasons, that quiet undercurrent of tension erupted into full public view. The controversial remark caught on camera and directed at Clark became a cultural flashpoint. Fans were quick to react, dissecting not only what was said but what it revealed, a league unprepared to manage its own growing pains. The backlash wasn't limited to what was caught on video, it spilled over into larger discussions about race, envy, generational divides, and the uncomfortable question of whether Clark's success is being quietly resented by those who paved the way but never received the spotlight she now commands. Enter Patrick Bet-David. While others tiptoed around the incident, waiting for press releases and league responses, Bet-David stepped directly into the fire. His commentary didn't mince words. He didn't deflect or soften the blow. He called it what it looked like. To millions of viewers, a racially charged attack on the league's biggest star, and a disgraceful moment that demanded accountability. In an age where media often avoids controversy, for fear of backlash, Bet-David's blunt assessment stood out not just for its clarity but for its courage. He wasn't just defending Clark. He was defending the future of the WNBA itself. Because at the heart of this debate isn't just a single comment or a single rivalry. It's about whether the WNBA is ready to evolve into the global brand it claims to want to be, or whether it will be held back by internal divisions and unspoken grievances. Clark represents a once-in-a-generation opportunity to take the league to new heights. But if her stardom continues to be met with cold shoulders and closed ranks rather than celebration and collaboration, the WNBA risks more than bad press. It risks turning away the very audience it's just beginning to win over. And so, this controversy is no longer just about sportsmanship or even race. It's about whether the league will choose unity over ego, progress over politics, and vision over resentment. The world is watching and waiting to see which path the WNBA will take.